My sister is wanting to give her married daughter money for a down payment on a house. This money will be in place of any inheritance. She would like to give it to her daughter as her sole and separate property, even though it will be used for purchased community property. What is the best way for her to help her daughter preserve the character of the gift, keeping in mind that sister has health issues and may not be around to testify if needed?
Okay, so in doing this, you need a good paper trail. You need to have this in writing and specify exactly what it is, that it is a gift. You need to make sure it's a gift to just the married daughter, not her husband. And the way you would need to write that out is, this is a gift to my daughter, Sally, and
Jesse,
specifically
Raphael.
not a gift to her husband.
Yeah.
This is a gift to Sally as her sole and separate property. Giving the money in place of any inheritance, I have some issues and questions with that. She needs to make sure that she has a very solid estate plan that really lines this stuff out. Otherwise, you're just creating problems for your whole family in the future. I would actually recommend that this not be done, but it's okay. This is one of those kind of borderline ones. Making it used to purchase community property, essentially, she'll wind up preserving that, but she needs to make sure that the money is traced directly into that property. And so perhaps the check would be written directly to the mortgage company or as part of the down payment of the house, or it comes into a specific account and that money itself goes out. Not money from here that equates and moves around here. No, you need to be able to trace it specifically out, and she needs to keep all of those tracing records. And ideally, she should have an attorney that collects and makes sure that, okay, if you were to get a divorce, then this is exactly how we would trace this out in terms of the divorce. You know, to spend a couple of $3,000 maybe worth of attorney time and money to get that done, I would highly recommend that, just to make sure, because otherwise you wind up washing this.
Everything needs to be in writing on this.
Exactly. And giving it to her daughter instead of any inheritance. Well, here's the thing. What if you give her $20,000? You live another 20 years and her inheritance would have been $2 million because you earned a whole bunch of money. And instead she gets no inheritance because you wrote this out wrong. Your estate plan really has to be done correctly to say that so, you know, the better way to do it would be divide my estate in third, but consider the estate to include the money that we already gave to that daughter and that she's already received that portion of the estate. So let's say if that was a $20,000 thing, but her inheritance would have been $100,000, then she gets another $80,000. And out of the full inheritance, you reclaim that $20,000 and consider that as part of the estate. And so then you divide a third of that amount, that full amount. For example, if you're a third, meaning like if there's two other siblings or something, you know, so if she was supposed to get, 10% of the estate, and it's a $2 million estate, that would have been $200,000, but she's already received $20,000, and then the estate would have been $2,020,000, and so the 10% of that would have been that she would get $220,000 would have been, or no, $202,000, and she's already got the 20. So that how you write that out and how that math is done is very, very particular. And I even like giving examples in the estate plan of exactly how the calculation is done. You describe the calculation, you give an example, and you better make sure that those are done very well. And not all attorneys are good at that. So you want something that's done very, very well and artfully. And probably at our firm, we would have a paralegal attempt to write that out first. Then an associate attorney, look at it and form it. And then for certain things like that, that would probably even go to Daniel or me, or maybe all of us on something so customized and so specific and so important that it would need to be done that way. Because if not, you're setting them up for the one that you gave this gift to realize she's getting screwed over, so I'm going to contest that will because, well, I've already received this. I'm not getting anything in the will. Why wouldn't I contest it?
Right.
Even if there's no contest clause. Why not contest it and try and throw it out and do all kinds of things and have problems? And then you create resentment among the family. This is a real dangerous thing to do unless you do it really well with somebody who knows, ideally, estate planning and family law.
Right.
And there's not tremendous amounts of firms that are out there. So that's something specific to do. It's something that we at our firm are able to do, but you have to make sure and you do that. Another issue with that is that the sister testifying later that I intended it to be a gift, that's actually not very powerful testimony.
Right.
Because of course the sister's going to say, "Oh no!" Even if she gave it to both of them, she'll change her story later. It's not that believable. The believability of it is having a writing at the time that says it specifically.
I was sitting there thinking also, like the sister, like how bad is the health issues? Could she possibly recover from whatever she's got going on?
Yeah. And even when you're having health issues, I mean, her wanting to buy a house. Here's the problem with that. Somebody who isn't disciplined enough and doesn't have the down payment money for a house, it's questionable whether or not you helping them get into a house is helping them or hurting them.
Right.
Because you could be causing them other financial problems that there's a reason that they're not in a position to be able to buy the house yet. Mm-hmm. And you may be doing them a disservice by helping them with that. It's like, don't help somebody stand in front of a bullseye being shot at.
Yeah.
Even if they think that that's where they want to be.
Yeah. Well, the question is, if they are not disciplined enough to save for a down payment, are they disciplined enough to pay their mortgage monthly?
And maybe they're just losing that money.
Yeah.
And that's one of the problems that you have with inheritances as well, is that most people lose that money and don't have that money within 2 years, almost universally.
Yeah.
It's a very small percentage of people that do. And people should really take that into consideration. If you Google "the lottery ruined my life," the lottery and winning the lottery and coming into a lot of money that you didn't have to earn or protect or grow on your own, it comes to you quickly. It flows right through you quickly.
Oh, yeah.
It's like pouring water into your open hand.
Yeah.
And so that's something to think about when you're determining who's going to get your stuff. Our stuff, we have people that we love very much and that we know the money would help them for 10 minutes and then they'd be worse off. And they're specifically excluded. Jonathan, for example, until he can show me that he is investing and doing the financial things that I'm recommending, he's not in the will. And in fact, y'all are in our will. Why? Because we know that you guys know how to manage and deal with money. And Daniel will have some discretion with that, but I've instructed him specifically, do not give any money to them. What you can give them is advice and help them do it, but they have to do it for themselves, and they're perfectly capable of doing it for themselves.
Right.
And when we made him do that with his employment, now he's got a job, he makes $70,000 a year, he's doing great. Is he spending his money well and investing? That's to be determined. And when he can demonstrate and really show that he has done that for a period of years, then we will multiply and bless that. But until he can show me that he is a good steward of that money, I'm not going to allow that money to be used badly.
Right.
And get them into a position that they shouldn't be in that destroys everything.
Right.
Because just giving somebody money that they don't have the mental power to control is bad.
Right.
Doesn't work well. It's not a blessing, it's a curse.
No, I agree with that.
This is the Lawyer Dana Show.